And now for a new segment which we call Perspectives on Thelema. In this segment, Joseph Thebus will interview Thelemites from around the world. The idea for this segment stems from the Thelemic Symposium, an annual event which ran for 10 years and created by Joseph Thebus. Panelists presented their responses to 3 questions about their own perspective on Thelema. This month, Joseph will be interviewing Frater Aletheia of Blazing Star Oasis.
Aleister Crowley wrote in his intimation with reference to the constitution of the order, quote, "Thus we gather up all the threads of human passion and interest, and weave them into an harmonious tapestry, subtly and diligently with great art, that our order may seem an ornament even to the stars that are in the heavens at night. In our rainbow-colored texture we set forth the glory of the whole universe. See thou to it, brother magician, that thine own thread be strong and pure, and of a color brilliant in itself, yet ready to mingle in all beauty with those of thy brethren." End quote. In Perspectives on Thelema, respondents record their answers to a couple of questions that they pick from a list. If you are a member of OTO and would like to participate in this new segment, please write to us at thelemapodcast@gmail.com. Today we will feature the responses to 2 questions by Frater Aletheia of Blazing Star Oasis. Thanks for participating, Frater Aletheia. So, first question, what do you think initiation is?
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. In my opinion, initiation is the progressive revelation of the interior life of the candidate, the unfolding of the self that culminates in the apprehension of one's true or innermost nature. In a sense, initiation is the willful invocation of one's own divinity. In entering into the temple of initiation, we invoke our own Godhead, and this act, this invocation of the light, illuminates all the heavens and hells of our being, thereby activating the hidden potentials that lie at the root of the self, which, when awakened, can be enlisted in the service of the discovery and working out of one's true will. In my own experience, the process of initiation awakens awareness of talents and capacities, the realization of which marks a distinct departure from one's life before initiation. In the new comment to Liber Al, Crowley wrote that the goal of initiation, quote, is to reveal the secret self of man, end quote, and that life, quote, is an attempt to realize one's own nature in one's own soul, end quote. What is interesting about those remarks is that Crowley identifies the goal of initiation as the primary life task of any woman or man. So in this very general sense, to the degree that all of us continually strive towards some sort of understanding of life and are a purpose for incarnating, although some with more awareness and intention than others, initiation is quite simply an aid in this natural process, a catalyst that can jumpstart and throw into motion one's movement towards that goal. And as we head towards this goal, we uncover aspects of ourselves and the world that confer self-knowledge upon us. And I think we even get a glimpse into the mechanisms that make this self-knowledge available. We thereby learn how to harness them and undertake the work with a greater degree of awareness and intention. But as I mentioned a moment ago, initiation illuminates both our heavens and our hells. In this sense, initiation is not merely a rosy walk through the park. In my experience, it's more like a journey through strange, exotic, and sometimes even frightening lands, terrains that are also populated by joy, wonder, and inspiration. And it is knowledge of our innermost nature, or rather an awakening to this knowledge, that allows us to pass through or undergo those experiences, such that what we experience contributes to and expands the nature of our star, helping us become more complete, more full, more human, and more divine. As an initiate of the OTO, I seek to discover within myself these sources of light and truth, that I might realize my own nature in my own self. And I think that the initiatory degrees of the OTO help to uncover this existential ground of the candidate, making this life task an explicit concern for me, one which extends beyond merely the cultivation of myself to a life that is also concerned with the liberation of human beings in general. Thus, in my opinion, initiation reveals a a common bond amongst human beings. And as I grow and mature, integrating the lessons of my initiations, I become further aware that my own growth is connected with the growth of humanity as a whole, my task being one task among many, and that the aid I have been given in undertaking this journey is also due to others, who themselves desire the goal of initiation. So, initiation is about me, and it's not about me. It is about me, but it's also about the life of everyone. And as no two individuals are exactly alike, since each individual unfolds in a way that is unique to their historical, cultural, and perspectival situation, diversity in the unfolding of the life task across sets of individuals is inevitable. Love is the law, love under will.
Thanks for that in-depth response. The second question is perhaps a bit more controversial. Our community has a long and honored tradition of being skeptical towards fundamentalism, and we have long heard about the problems of fundamentalism in Thelema. But can you see any aspects of fundamentalism that might be beneficial to our work? What is your overall perspective on Thelemic fundamentalism?
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. It seems to me that some form of skepticism towards fundamentalism is built into the foundation of Thelema. Setting aside the remarks that Crowley makes in regards to the practice of skepticism in general for a moment, Thelema is a syncretic philosophy and religion, integrating aspects of Taoism, Buddhism, the yogic traditions, the Judeo-Christian and Islamic traditions, Hermetic philosophy, Western science, and Freemasonry, just to name a few. So, to be a Thelemic fundamentalist, one would have to wade through a wide array of the world's religions and philosophies in order to even get a grip on what one is a fundamentalist about. I find this to be an ingenious aspect of Thelema, since even a cursory understanding of these traditions would tend to inculcate a widening of the horizon of one's own worldview. This is not to say that fundamentalism doesn't have a place in Thelema, just as the syncretic nature of Thelema allows for individuals to make sense of and more fully comprehend the Thelemic paradigm in a way that addresses who they are individually and who they will to become. So too does fundamentalism play a role in grounding the life of a Thelemite in certain general and fundamental principles that, when adhered to, also address the needs and context of the individual aspirant. In fact, it seems to me that the idea of Thelemic fundamentalism contains something of a paradox. Skepticism and fundamentalism turn out to be complementary. In bringing together many other traditions, and in order for it to distinguish itself from these other systems, in order for it to really be something new, to articulate a vision that the individual can grab a hold of, Thelema must have its own precepts and doctrines that distinguish it from others. So, in order to live one's life as the Thelemite, and to not be only a connoisseur or scholar of comparative religion or philosophy, one must take a hold of and claim ownership over the truly new ideas that are found in the Thelemic worldview. Ideas such as, every man and every woman is a star, the word of the law is Thelema, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, love is the law, love under will, thou hast no right but to do thy will. These principles from the first chapter of Liber Al seem to me to articulate a part of the fundamental nature of our religion. Fundamentalism in regards to these principles provides the backbone of our system, distinguishing us from many other new religious movements. And our syncretism becomes the more powerful due to its grounding in these principles, since they provide a way for each individual to grab a hold of their own path, while at the same time precluding having another foist their path upon one. Fundamentalism in regards to these principles requires that each individual embodies and develops them in a way that is unique and compatible with their own nature. Thus, it looks to me like fundamentalism in our system encourages diversity, yet at the same time provides a common bond with others who have accepted these same principles, and thus also provides the ground of community. Just as the rules of chess, the axioms of logic, or the experimental methods of the natural sciences provide the conditions through which the game manifests itself, so too these principles. Yet within this domain, a vast array of diversity is manifested. However, accepting these principles without critical insight, whether out of a desire for belonging, a need for rebellion, or as a justification for the habits of life that one already holds, hinders the capacity to write them, as Crowley says, in our hearts and in our brain. By moving through the uncomfortable phases of doubt, we can more fully appreciate how to and why we would accept these principles, allowing us to take hold of them as our own, as expressions of our own nature. In short, Thelemic fundamentalism is beneficial to our work because because it underwrites the diversity that arises therefrom. Even our fundamentalism is compatible with skepticism, and the acceptance of our fundamental doctrines is the means by which our work is secured. Love is the law, love under will.
Thanks to Frater Aletheia for participating in Perspectives on Thelema. Tune in next program to hear more, and if you would like to participate, write to us at thelemapodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you, Joseph and Frater Aletheia, for that interview. If you would like to be interviewed by Joseph, send us an email at thelemapodcast@gmail.com.